Okay, everybody. So far, so good. We've already done math so far. Now let's go to the next set. Letter D, word problems. It says here the objective is solve the following word problems and then solve for each given question and answer in complete sentence. Like in number 1, Rolf Pasito and his father deposited 6,000 pesos in the bank. However, after 3 years, they received 2,400 pesos as interest. What was the value of the interest rate? Ayan. So this is a word problem. So you know already what to do in word problems. In word problems, the first thing that you have to do is to read and analyze the given problem. And analyze what are you going to do. Like for instance, it says you deposit 6,000 pesos in the bank and then you receive 2,400 pesos interest and then after 3 years, that involves interest. But what type of interest? Simple interest dahil walang compounding period. And then, those are the given. But what is asked? Ano yung tanong? What was the interest rate? Very good. Ano yung interest rate? Kasi nga kung sa tingin mo, okay, identifying the given. So, ito yung solution sheet na ginawa ko. Ito yung principal na 6,000 pesos. The rate, wala tayong alam sa rate. The time, we're supposed to have 3 years. And then, the interest is 2,400 pesos. So, how do we solve for the interest? That's very easy. To solve for simple interest, ang ginawa namin ay ganito. This is the formula as follows. Diba? So, the first thing that we did is, ito yun. So, ang ginawa namin, we solve for the rate. So, yan, I did 6,000 times R times 3 equals 2,400. 6,000 times 3 is 18,000. Cross out the zeros, it's 24 divided by 8, 180. Diba? And then divide both sides by 6. We're supposed to get 4 over 30. Divide by 2, we get 2 over 15. And 2 over 15, I try to simplify that and I get 13, 0.13333, then a bunch of 3's. So therefore, the rate is 13 and 1/3% per annum. So therefore, the answer is, yeah. And when you answer, when you answer the word problems, dapat it should be in complete sentence, ha? Hindi pwede yung what you call this, yung, isang word lang. Dapat complete sentence. There should be a subject and a predicate. Like, what is the answer? And then you explain in sentence. Like, for example, the subject is the interest. The subject is the value of the interest rate. And then, the predicate is how much, di ba? Yun. Okay? So, the value of the interest rate, that's the subject, is 13 1/3% per annum. That's the predicate. So, therefore, ito yung sagot ko. This is the narrative. Pero also, you can see the color because it's like orange. Pero I'll make it black para makita mo. Okay? So this is supposed to be our answer. Okay? Tapos yung ginawa ko dito sa solution sheet, I did this way. Diba yung E49, this is the future value. I mean the interest. And then divide by the product of these two numbers. Diba, remember just like what I did there, diba? I multiply the two numbers first and then from there divide from the E. From the interest. And we're supposed to get this answer. So, yan. That's pretty easy, diba? That's number 1. Next, number 2. Kurt borrowed 5,000 pesos from his uncle who gave him an interest rate that is compounded semi-annually. After 5 years, he paid a total amount of 7,000 pesos. What was the value of the interest rate? Ayan. So, what type of word problem is this? That involves compound interest. How can you tell that it's compound interest? Because it says compounded. There's a compounding period. So, halatang-halata when you see a compounding period, therefore, ibig sabihin, there is a compounding period. Diba? So, now let's identify the given. In the given in number 32, we have the principal of 5,000 pesos. And then the rate, it's asking for the rate. Also, I already put there na for the answer, but I'll show you how we get the answer later. And then the time is 5 years. Compounding period is semi-annually. Diba? And then the interest amount is 7,000. And then the interest is 2,000. Pero we are not solving for the interest. We're solving for the interest rate. So what do we do here? Our goal is to solve for the rate. Pero paano tayo nagsasolve ng rate? We know that we're supposed to get 0.06484399388. So what did we do? let's go to the solution sheet and find out. So, ang ginawa ko dito ay ganito. First, I get 1.4. Paano ko nakuha ng 1.4? Ang ginawa ko ay future amount divided by the principal. Yan. So, ito yung ginawa ko, di ba? So, I did this. And that's supposed to be 7/5. 7/5 is the same as 1.4. Because, if I remember, 7/5 is the same as 1 and 2/5. And 2/5 can be converted to 0.4. So, tama, it's 1.4 as the principal. Or if you are to convert that to fraction, wait lang ha, click this one. Sige, mamaya na. Okay? And then the next step is, ano to? I convert that to fraction. Diba? So, when I convert that to a fraction, it's 1 and 2/5. Yan. Diba? And then the next step is this. From this answer that I got here, we get this answer. How did I get this 1.024? I raised that to the 0.1 power. How did I get that 0.1? Ganito kasi yun. Diba, remember, it says here, I'm gonna raise that to the 1/10 power. To the 1/10 power. Diba? So, yun ang solution sheet ko. Ibig sabihin, I take the 10th root. Because, diba, remember, this is my answer, diba? So, 7/5, and then, diba, remember, to get rid of the exponent of 10, we take the 10th root. Kaya naman, I raise that to the 0.1 power. Take note that 0.1 is the same as 1 over 10. And dapat we're supposed to get this answer of... Teka, wait lang ha. We're supposed to get this 1.034, which you see right over here. Diba? Yan. And then 1 plus r divided by 2, we minus 1 on both sides. So this one minus 1 to give you this answer, diba? And then last but not least, because it's divided by 2, we multiply that. So D53, which is this one, the answer here, then multiplied by 2, tama, we should get the same answer. 0.0684389. And that is the rate. Pero we need to convert that into percent. So therefore, our answer here must be multiplied by 100. So doing that, when you multiply it by 100, we should get 6.849. Yan. So therefore, 6.844% is the value of the interest rate. Yan, di ba? Next, number 3. It says here, Shirlane received, ayan, this one in word problems, I even used my names of my friends to make this even more appealing. So starting with Rolf, and then with Kurt, and these are my friends in church. Rolf Pesito, he's my enemy in church. Pero shout out to him, even though nagkaroon tayo na magulo tayo dyan, Rolf. So, yeah. Shirlane received 9,300 pesos as interest from the interest rate of 3 1/3% compounded monthly. How long did it take her to receive a final amount of amounting to 24,800 pesos? So yeah, now let's identify what is the given. First, identifying what the problem is. What is the problem in this scenario? Compound interest. How do we know that this is compound interest? We know that this is compound interest because it says there is a compounding period, diba? Compounded monthly. So identifying what is the given. Our principal, we don't know, diba? Shirley received 9,350 pesos. 300 pesos interest. That is interest amount, diba? The interest. And then, diba, remember it says here, 3 1/3%, that is the rate. Compounded monthly, that is the compounding period. Diba? And then we have, ano yun? How long did it take her to receive a monthly budget, to receive a final amount of 248,000. That is the final amount. So, yun po talaga yung solution sheet ko, okay? So, we have the interest of 9,300, the future amount of 24,800, and then the interest rate of 3 1/3, which is converted into this answer. So, ito yung ginawa ko. So, 3 plus 1/3. Diba? Remember, 3 plus 1/3, diba? So, 3 plus 1/3 is 3 1/3, diba? Or converting that to 3.3333%. Pero we need to divide it by 100 because we are going to convert that into a decimal. So therefore, our answer is 0.0333 in a bunch of 3's. Diba? And you might be asking me, why is the principal 15,500 kahit wala siya doon? Madali lang yan. Madali lang yung step. All you have to do is to subtract the A minus the I to give it a P. And that's very easy, so no problem with that. Now, our objective here is to solve for the time. Kasi nga sabi dito, how long did it take her to have a final amount of 24,800? Ibig sabihin, kung gaano kahaba. So, our goal there is to look for the time. So, to solve for the time, ganito yung ginawa ko sa solution sheet. First, I did A minus I to give me 15,500. And then, we applied the formula as follows. P times the 1 plus the R divided by C that is being raised to the CT power. And we identify the given. Diba? Equals to this. So, the first step is to do future value divided by the present value. And doing so will give you 8/5. Diba? And then, on the left-hand side, we simplify the equation. So, you get 0.0333 divided by 12, and then times 15,000, and then we have, then add 1, we get 1.00275. Did we get that? Let's see. So, diba remember, this is my step that I did there. Future value divided by present value, that is the 1. Ito yun, diba? Yan. And we're supposed to get 1.6. And we're supposed to get 1.6. 1.6, that's the same as 8 over 5, di ba? If I were to convert that into a fraction, that's 8 over 5. Or 1 3/5, di ba? Because 8 over 5 is 1 3/5, which can be converted into 1.6. And then, di ba remember dito, I get 1.0020778. Yung nga, di ba dito, it's supposed to be 5. Pero, because yun naman sa Excel, they might give you a very accurate number. So, that's why it gave me this answer. Diba? Kasi ito yung ginawa ko. Ang ginawa ko, it's 1 plus C56, which is this one, divide by 2, divide by 12, because it's compounded monthly, diba? And we're supposed to get this answer. Yan. And that is the thing that I did. And then this one, we divide the logs. So how did I divide the logs? So therefore, we come up with this answer. And then we take the log of that base and then this base. Ito yung ginawa ko. So ang ginawa ko dito, I did the log base 10 formula. Log base 10 formula of B57. Diba, remember the formula is, kung ano yung nasa taas, if you're going to use the log base 10 formula, yung nasa taas, that is the future value divided by the present value. Yung nasa denominator, that is the base. And that's why you apply the change of base method, diba? So, log base 10 of B57, which is 1.6, divided by the log base 10 of D57, which is your base. Diba? Yung naka-highlight. And you're supposed to get this answer. Just like what I did here. Pero ang ginawa ko, I let the exponent slide and then I take the log of both sides. Then I simplify the logarithmic equations. Diba? So, I simplify the logs 3 times log base, log of 2, and log of 5. So, I get these answers, diba? So, yan. And then I divide both sides by log of this answer here. Then, dividing by 12, we're supposed to get 14.13 years. Yeah, kasi nga dapat we're supposed to get 169. Diba? Yun ang tamang sagot dito. Pero, that's in here, it's 0.436. Pero, diba, I can still consider that answer. Because, diba, remember, sometimes you may not get the accurate amount. It depends upon the situation. Okay? But what is important, we still get 14.12 years. Okay? Now, diba, remember, ang ginawa ko dito, I did log base 10 of, divide by log base 10 of that answer. If you want to try using the literal formula, so we just do the log, and then the number and the base. We take the log of that number, which is this guy, diba? This guy, the future value divided by the principal. Diba? And then divide by the base. Do you think we will still get that 169? Yes. We still got the same exact answer. And then, we divided by 12. This answer here, divide by 12, diba? so that we can get 14.11 or 14.12 years. So therefore, the answer is, it took Shirlene 14.13 years, pero it's supposed to be 14.12 here. But in my paper, I can accept an answer of 14.13 because of a discrepancy. So yan, and that's the correct answer. Okay? And to write your answer, you have to write incomplete sentence. So it took Shirlene 14.12 years in order for her to have a future value of 24,800 pesos. Yun lang. Next, for number 4. For number 4, we have another problem here. So now let's go to the next. Ninong Jaime has a credit card charged 8% compounded quarterly. Compute for the effective rate of interest. Ayan, I haven't taught you guys this one, pero effective rate of interest is only given if and only if you want to solve for the interest rate value such that you want to get the standardized value. I remember I researched that on the internet and that's supposed to be what they're giving me. Pero, I know naman the formula for ERI is always 1 plus the R divided by C raised to the C power quantity, then whatever answer you get there is subtracted by 1. So, how do you solve for the ERI? Ganito kasi yun. Very easy lang talaga to solve. So, this is the formula, di ba? And our rate is 8% and our compounding period is quarterly. Kasi yung quarterly is 4. So, therefore, ang ginawa ko, 1 plus 0.08 divided by 4 raised to the 4th power minus 1. Simplifying that 0.08 divided by 4, we get 0.02. And therefore, we're supposed to get 1.02. 1.02 raised to the 4th power is equivalent to 1.082432216 minus 1 to give me 8.24 as the value of the effective rate of interest. So, yung ginawa ko sa solution sheet ay ito. Rate, compounding period, and the ERI. And then the final answer in percent. So, ito yung ginawa ko sa steps. First, di ba remember ang ginawa ko ay ganito. So, nakita mo yung 0.2 dyan? That is the rate divided by the compounding period. Ito yung ginawa ko. Then, press enter. And then, whatever answer I get here, I add it by 1. So, yan. And then, this one, I raise it to the C power. Di ba? The C power. And then, minus 1 based on my answer that I get here. To give me this answer. And then, this one, because it's in percent, I multiplied it by 100 at yun nga. That is my answer. My answer is supposed to be 8.24. So therefore, 8.24% is the value of the effective rate of interest. Madali lang yan. Next, number 5. Brother John Nang is curious about the values of nominal interest and effective rates of interest. If the effective rate of interest is charged of 3.5%, find the nominal rate of interest if it is compounded bi-monthly. Yan. Kasi nga, when we say ERI, that is the effective rate of interest. And now we're going to find the nominal rate. So now, we are going to do it in reverse. So how do we do that? Applying the formula, 1 plus R divided by C, then raise the C power minus 1. Diba? But in here, we are given the ERI. So now we're going to have to solve for the I. So ganito yung solution sheet ko. In my solution sheet, we started with this one. Diba? So we started off with this one. Yes, and that's 0.05. 035. Why did I get that? Because this is my effective rate of interest. Because 3.5% in effective rate of interest. So divide by 100 because we need to convert that into decimal. Diba? And then ang ginawa ko dito, the first step is to add 1. Why did I add 1? Looking back at my solution sheet, di ba remember ito yung ginawa ko? So the first thing I need to do is to follow PEMDAS rule. So this one first, R divided by 6, then plus 1, raise it to the 6th power, minus 1. So first I add 1. So therefore I get 1.035. And that's correct. Next, based on the answer that I get here, I need to raise that to the 1/6 power. Or taking the root of 6 if you have a calculator that has a root function. But in Excel, it doesn't give you a specific root function. So therefore, I just did it this way. Ang ginawa ko ay ganito. Can you see what I'm doing? B65 raised to the 1 over C64, which is 1 over 6 power. And that's supposed to be my answer. Diba? 1.00575004. Next, it's equivalent to 1 plus r divided by 6. So, we have to apply rational expressions. So, to apply the rational equations, we can multiply both sides by 6. So, let me get a scratch paper if I want to solve for that. And guys, maybe listen to music first. Okay, how was the music? So now, let's go back now to math. So this is already the rational equation. Diba? And then, diba, remember to apply rational equations, the first thing that you need to do is to solve for the LCD. What do you think is the LCD in this situation? The LCD is 6. Diba, remember we have a denominator of 1, and then we have a denominator of 1 on both sides. So the LCD is 6. So multiplying everything by 6, diba? Everything is being multiplied by 6. The 6 here cancels. So therefore, we have 6 plus r is equivalent to this answer here multiplied by 6. And remember, this answer being multiplied by 6 is and then asterisk, diba? Put the asterisk and then 6. This one. Diba? Nakita mo yung 6 dyan? And we're supposed to get 6.034. Diba? 6.034500027. And then we subtract both sides by 6. Doing that, so we remember this is what we do. We subtract both sides. This one minus 6. Tama, we still get the same answer of 0.034500237. So tama, that is the right answer. And at least we solve for the right answer. Kaya nga, praise the Lord talaga, we were able to get the right answer in the nick of time. So yun. Let me fix these first. Please wait. Okay, that's enough music. Okay, so that's already the answer. You can also do it that way. That is, of course, if you are to apply the rational equations method. That's what you're going to do. Pero ang ginawa ko, I minus it by 1 first. And then I multiply that by 6, diba? So yan, that's the last step. We multiply by 6 at the last moment. At yun nga, that's the final answer. 0.34. And then this one, we have to give our final answer in percent. So you have to multiply, because it's in percent, our answer should be in percent. I multiply that by 100, and therefore, the final answer is supposed to be 3.45%. Therefore, ano yung sagot? The answer is 3.45% is the value of that nominal interest rate. That's it. And that's how we solve for number 5. Sige. Next, let's go to number 6. In number 6, here's the problem. Justina Gabin, together with his brothers, has deposited 7,200 pesos in the bank since July 14, 2016, with an interest rate of 4.6% per annum. What would be the ordinary and exact amount that they would have on March 5, 2025? Ayan. March 5, 2021. Wala. Not 2025. So sorry. So that one implies, what is the problem here? This is simple interest. But this time, this implies the conversion of time. So now let's go to number 36, okay? So here's how I did the solution sheet. First, do I remember identifying what is the P? The P is 7,200 pesos. The rate is 4.6%. So yan, 4.60%, 4.6. The time is from July 14, 2016 to March 5, 2021. Pero that's not the answer that we're, pero remember, our time now, do I remember last time, our time was supposed to be in months or in years or in time unit. Pero the time unit is from this day up to that date. Now what do we do? Very easy lang yun. Di ba remember, it's just like the principle that I told you before. When you were doing, ano yun? When you were doing counting principle, di ba? You have to solve for the number of days by doing the time interval. So first of all, let's do the exact interest. So the first I worked on is exact interest. So first I computed for the number of days in exact interest. And how did I get 1,696? Ganito kasi yun. First, I started off with July, and therefore, there are 31 days in July. But since we started off at the 14th day, therefore, it's plus 18. So, 18, di ba? 18 because 14 to 31 makes 18 days. Because 31 minus 14 is 17. Plus the first day, which is the 14, is 18. And then August is 31. September, 30. October ay 31. November ay 30. Tapos December is 31. And then all the subsequent 360s, they're from the years. 365, that is 2017. 365 again for 2018. 365 for 2019. And 366 for 2020 dahil may leap year ang 2020, di ba? And then 31 for 2021 of January, 28 for 2021 of February, and then plus 5. So therefore, we're supposed to have, what's the answer? We're supposed to have 1,696 days. Whereas in the ordinary interest, on the other hand, so ganito kasi yun. So di ba remember this is the exact interest, di ba? Ito yung solution sheet. July, 18 days, and then the 31 days, there's 124. Because there's August, October, December, and January. Diba? And then February, 60 days. Diba? And then 30 days is 60 because there's only September and November. And then February, 28 days. And then March is only 5 days. Then when I add this up all together, ganito kasi yun. So we have 1, and that's 1,461. That's until 2020. And then this one, 2016, up, and then 2021. So adding this, I get this answer. Diba? So tama, we're supposed to get 1,696 days. That is the answer that we're supposed to be getting. And therefore, we need to divide that by 365 because we are solving for the exact interest. Diba? So yun yung ginawa ko. On the other hand, for ordinary interest, diba for ordinary interest, we're supposed to get 1,670 days. Paano ko ginawa ko to? Ganito kasi yun. Ito yung calendar, di ba? So, I started off at 2021. Di ba, remember the E2, which is, March 5, 2021. And then the E1, that is the July 14, 2016. And then we subtract the time units. So, March 5 minus, July 14 cannot be. Because 5 minus 14 cannot be. So, therefore, we need to borrow 1 day. So, minus, So, therefore, 5 minus 14 is equivalent to, So, therefore, we borrow 1 month. And how many days are there in February? 28. So, therefore, 5 plus 28 equals 33. Diba? And then, 33 minus 14 cannot, and then 2 minus 7 cannot be. Although, pwede na yung 33 minus 14 to give you 19. Pero 2 minus 7 cannot be. So, I have to borrow 1 year. So, 2020 and 14. So, now we can already subtract. 33 minus 14 to give you 19. 14 minus 7 to give you 7, and 2020 minus 2016 to give you 4 years. So therefore, your time interval is 4 years, 7 months, and 19 days. But don't forget, you need to add 1 more day, and that's 20. Okay? So therefore, 4 years times 360, remember this is what you're going to do. So this one here, you're going to have to multiply that by 360, diba? Because 1 year is worth 360 days in ordinary time. And you're supposed to get 140 days. Tapos this one is in months. So we have to multiply that by 30 days. Because there are 30 days in 1 month in an ordinary time. This one, on the other hand, we have this guy, 19, plus 1. 20. And then whatever answer we get here, we sum everything. And we'll see if we get the exact amount. You can also do it. You can also bring the thing like this. And you were supposed to get how many days? 1,670 days in ordinary interest. So tama. I did it here. And then this is my solution sheet. Although you can see it. Pero never mind. But at least naman, that's how I did it. Okay? And therefore, that's the number of days that I'm supposed to be getting. And now, we can solve for the future amount. To solve for the future amount, madali lang talaga yung formula. All you have to do is to just do this formula as follows. Principal times the rate times rate divide rate plus 1 and then raised to the time. But because diba remember it says ano yun, compounding monthly, so let's start with this one first. Teka, that's not supposed to be the amount. Kasi nga, di ba remember, ang ginawa ko dito ay ganito. Yeah, that's simple interest pala. Akala ko kasi compound interest eh. That is simple. So therefore, when we do simple interest, di ba remember this is what you're going to do. The product of everything, P times R times T, pero di ba remember we have a conversion period? So therefore, our time must be divided by 365. So therefore, we have to divide by 365 to get the answer of 1,538.96. Did we get that? Let's see. Yan. So diba remember that's my simple interest solution sheet. And also you can see the color. Dapat, diba, I divide that. I cross out all the 1,000s and then I give this answer. To get 1,696 divided by 365. So tama, that's the right answer. 1,538.95. Yun po. And then, in the ordinary interest, on the other hand, it becomes like this. Product of the three, ganito, I just did this product, then I highlight everything, and then divide by 360 since we're pertaining to ordinary interest, and we're supposed to get 1,536.4. How did I get that? Ganito kasi yun. Yan. And then I start to divide. Dividing all the numbers out, I should get this answer. Diba? 46 and divide by 10, that's the same as 23 over 5. And then I multiply everything. So 46 times 157 divided by 5. And therefore, my ordinary interest is supposed to be 1,536.4. But it's asking for what would be the exact and the ordinary interest. And therefore, this is the answer. We add so that we can get the amounts. Diba? Same pa rin dito. We had to get the amounts. And then the final answer is, on March 5, 2021, the exact amount will be 8,738.95 pesos, while the ordinary amount will be 8,736.4 pesos. Now, let's say, for instance, if they're asking for the difference of amount, this is what you're going to do. You're going to subtract. So, subtract from the big. Minus the small. Diba? If they ask you for the difference, then that should be your difference. And if they ask for the difference of amount, it says, the difference of amount is 2.5 pesos. Yun lang.